Hello, welcome to episode 45 of the Datapack tutorial series for version 1.21. We're going to be doing a simple set home using triggers. We might come back and visit this later, but the basic idea is player can type trigger set home, they set a home, and then they can type trigger home and they get teleported back to where they were. That's it. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. Well, simple. I think as simple as possible. Anyway, you got the idea. Let's crack on. Let's go over to VS Code and make some folders and files. In our namespace, we'll create a new folder. Advancement. And funnily enough, that's where we're going to put our advancement. And I'm going to call it player joins. And this will check when the player joins. Well, it's going to run a tick function. And when it finds the player, it's going to enable the triggers for them. And then once it's been enabled for them, it won't run for them anymore. Let's make inside our function a new folder. I'm going to call it home. And that's where I'm going to put all my functions. And we will have player joins. That is what the advancement is going to run. We will have, what else do we need in there? We need to teleport the player, so we'll have a teleport macro. That's going to be one teleporting the player. We want to know when they trigger home and set home. So triggered home and triggered set home. Okay, I think that's everything we need. I think we'll start with the load function. And I'm going to be cheeky and I'm just going to paste them in. Bang, there we go, because it's just a load of scores. We know how to add scores. So we've got our two triggers that the player can run. And then we're storing the player's dimension, their yaw, their pitch, and their positions, their coordinates. Okay, let's close down all the windows, Control KW. Let's make our advancement. Let's pop over to misode. Criteria, I'm just going to call it player joins. Player joins, let's add that. Trigger, it will be ticking. Let's add that. That's it. That's constantly ticking, but we need a reward. It's going to run a function. I will do my normal thing and put placeholder. And I will copy that. Copy. Take it back. Let's go to player joins. Let's paste that in there. We've got our placeholder. Let's replace the placeholder with my namespace. There we go. Player joins. Save. So it's going to keep ticking. It's going to tick, 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 tick. A new player will join. And this advancement will say, oh, you don't have this advancement yet. I shall grant it to you and I shall run player joins. So we'll go over to player joins and we're not going to revoke the advancement because once it's enabled the triggers for them, we will enable them with code later. Enable triggers and we'll do a scoreboard. Players. Enable S will enable the home and we'll enable the set home and we'll save that. There we go. So now a new player, when they join, will have the advancement and it will give them access to home and set home. Right. What would come next? I suppose next we want to set a home and then we can start doing some testing. So let's do set home. First thing we want to do is save the player data, I suppose. And then we will message the player. And then we will reset trigger. Let's do the reset trigger first because it's the easiest. Scoreboard, players, reset for that player. And this is set home, so set home. Scoreboard, players, enable, at S, set home. Okay, so we'll reset their set home score and then we'll enable it so they can do it again. We're starting from the bottom and working our way up. Let's message the player. Tell raw, we're just going to do a very simple tell raw. We'll have some text and we'll have a color. Text will be home set. Color will be green. Well, why not? Let's make it bold as well. bold true. Now let's save the player's data. Execute, store, result as a score at S into their posX. Run data get from an entity at S pos 0. 0 is where their X is stored. 1 is where their Y is stored, and you know it. 2 is where their Z is stored. But make sure we change these names here as well. Okay, so we've stored the coordinates. And then we want to store, let's paste another one actually. Into another score, we want the pitch and yaw. Yaw comes first, I believe, in Minecraft. So we want the rotation 0. We'll find out if this is wrong if I turn up looking in some strange direction. Let's copy that one and let's paste that one. We'll set that to Y. That to 1, and we'll set that to pitch. Okay, now we're storing their yaw and pitch, but I also want to store their dimension. Now a scoreboard can only store numbers, integers. So how are we going to store their dimension? Well, we're going to be a bit cheeky. Dimension, thank you, and we'll get from the entity the dimension. Now what it's going to do is going to say, this is not a number, these are strings, and the strings it's going to find will be one of these three. It's either going to find Minecraft Overworld, Minecraft the End, or Minecraft the Nether. And it's going to say, well, I can't put a string into this score, what shall I do? And it's just going to count how many letters are in it. That's what it's going to do. It's just going to say, okay, I'll put in this many letters. And we've got here, Minecraft is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it'll put a 19. Well, Minecraft plus the colon. So we could say that one equals 19. And then if it says, oh, you're in the end, it'll put in a 17. And if you're in the nether, it'll put in a 20. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. So that's nice because each dimension has a different amount of letters and we can store this number instead. That's what we're doing, just to keep it nice and easy. And we'll save that. And let's try it. I mean, we're not going to get much of a result, to be honest, but let's go over here. We'll do a reload. This button, as usual, is running the reload command. I probably won't use it. Sometimes it's quicker just to type it. And let's do trigger. Trigger set home. I've triggered set home. Has anything happened? No. Why not? Because we're not telling it to run this. It needs to know that it needs to run this function. So we're going to need to do something in tick. Let's go into tick and we'll check the scores. We will execute as all players whose scores equal home equals 1 or higher. Run function triggered home. Copy that and set this one to set home equals 1 or higher. Save that. Okay, let's go back. We'll do a reload. And it home set straight away. Well, that's because I'd already triggered it, so my score was higher than 1. What can we do? Let's do a scoreboard objective set display to the sidebar. Let's check the dimension one. So I've got 19. And we know that 19 is the overworld. If we were in a different dimension, we would have a different score. So if you're using this with some mod packs, add extra dimensions, it might not work because you might have 2 dimensions with the same number of letters in their name. If we check pitch, 12. Okay, so we can see it's storing stuff. That's basically all we want to know. Let's get rid of that off the sidebar. Let's go back and I'll say tick function is done and triggered set home is done. Okay, triggered home. So now the player wants to teleport back. Right, what do we want? First, I want to copy some of that data into a temporary storage so we can access it with a macro. So we will copy data to storage, and then we're going to have to convert that dimension, which is stored as a number. We're going to have to convert that back to a string. So we'll say convert and store dimension. We need to reset the trigger. Reset trigger. We want to teleport the player. Teleport player. That's it. Okay, let's start at the top. Copy data to storage. Execute store result into storage. Let's come up with a name. I usually just use ID data by default. And in there, I'm just going to say X. I'm going to store it as an integer, times it by 1 or its scale. Run scoreboard players get at S pos X home copy and put 2 more of those in. That one's going to be a Z. That one's going to be a Y. Make sure we change these bits as well. Okay, so we are saving the coordinates. Let's paste down another one. Let's change this from X to pitch. Actually, I'm going to do... No, that's fine. We'll do pitch because we're just going to change this here to pitch. Change you to your. Change you to your. Okay, that looks all right. Convert and store the dimension. Okay. Execute if score at S dimension matches 19. If it matches 19, I must be in the overworld. Run data modify storage ID data dimension set value Minecraft overworld. Felt like I made a spelling mistake in there. I did indeed. Okay, so if we've got a 19 store, we'll change it to that string, or we'll set that string, and then we'll copy 2 more. We have a 17, we have a 20. If it's 17, then it is the end. And if it's 20, then it is the nether. Reset the trigger, scoreboard, players, reset. And what are we doing here? We're going home, aren't we? So home, scoreboard, players, enable, home. Now we want to teleport the player. Function, teleport macro with storage ID data, because we want to be able to access all this stuff we just put into the data. Okay, let's save that one. Let's go to teleport macro. This is going to be teleport the player. Teleport the player. Okay. So what does the normal teleport look like? And we want to execute it in a dimension. So it would be execute in Minecraft overworld, run teleport at S to this to X, Y, Z as the coordinates with a yaw and a pitch. What is that word? And a pitch. Okay, so if we wanted that to look okay, 0, 0. So that's an acceptable command. I'm just going to copy that. Copy it down here, and now let's convert it. So we've got X, Y. Well, we've got the dimension. Let's do dimension first. Bump, bump. Dimension. TP. This is going to be X, Y, and Z. I'm going to just copy that little bit there, actually copy that. X, Y, Z, and then which comes first in Minecraft? Is it pitch or yaw? I always feel it should be pitch then yaw, so I know it's the other way around, so it should be yaw, then pitch in Minecraft. Okay. Yep. Let's get rid of that temporary one that I was just copying. Let's say you are using stored data so it doesn't get upset. Let's save that. Let's pop back. Let's go here and point at that block, and let's try trigger set home. My home is set. Cool. Let's go over here and try trigger home. Okay. Why did you do nothing? You did trigger it. Can we run it again? You cannot trigger this objective yet. Okay. So we've clearly made a mistake. Let's check our tick function. Execute as scores equals set home equals 1. Run triggered set home. So we didn't even make it this far, did we? What is my current set home scores? Scoreboard, objectives, set display to the sidebar, set home. That's what we're looking for. 1. Look at the tick. Home equals 1. Well, it does. So triggered home. Somewhere in here, it's not happy. So let's do the old easy. Is it even making it in here? Say hi. Say hi. Did I reload? I did. I bet I didn't reload, did I? That's a bit of curse of Omnimoris. I bet I didn't reload. Trigger home. Oh, no, I did reload. It still just doesn't work. Okay, fair enough. We ran high twice. Did we run high twice then? No, there we go. Okay, but it did reset it. So we know we're definitely in here. We've got the high message. It did reset. So the problem probably is with the teleport macro. We'll pop into teleport macro. We'll just comment that out. We'll put, say, in there. We'll go back. We'll reload. We'll run the home command again. There we go. So we're making it all the way into that function. We know that. So what have I done wrong here? Something. One of these commands. So there's probably some part of this information is wrong. I think a good way to check. Let's check out what we've got stored. Data get from storage ID data. I can see already what's wrong. Look at our dimension. Minecraft. Spelling mistake. So easy to do, and I do them so often. So, triggered home. We've got an F in there, we've got an F there, and we've got an F there. So we've got a spelling mistake. It's running into our teleport macro. Teleport macro is saying, well, run in dimension that doesn't exist. And it's just going, well, I can't. So let's go back. Do a reload. And let's trigger home. And there we are. Let's try from this side. And we'll look over there. And there we are. Okay, so we're done. Keeping it simple. Could we add other things? Yes, definitely. You might want to check that before you teleport them, the destination is safe. But to do that, you're probably going to have to load the chunk that the destination is in. You might want them to have multiple teleports instead of one. I'm not sure how to do that. You probably use data storage and have individual data storage for each player. That's going to get a bit more confusing. What else could we have? I suppose we could have it so when they actually do trigger set home, it says home set at these coordinates in this dimension. Oh, and anything else you can think of. If you can think of something, chuck it in the comments and we'll have a play around. But we now have a simple set home working with just our triggers. Cool. This one was a request by arekushisus again, and I thought, that's interesting. I'm going to have a little look at that. And I liked it, so I did it. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.